welcome to another episode of Daily Market Mastery with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this sunny Thursday. I hope you all had a great week so far. As always, before we jump into my portfolio, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way first. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, all the tools that I'm using, so the broker, the charting software, the strategy I'm following, and so on, are all linked in the video description down below. And for those of you tuning in for the first time, the one thing I truly recommend is that you check out the Elliott Wave Principle, which you can read online for free when you use the link that's down in the description below. That said, if we take a look at my portfolio, we can see that we have a break-even start into the day. I don't expect too much to change in quotes because when we jump into, I haven't fired up Motive Wave yet, 1 second. So when we jump into this chart, we will see that for GameStop, things are moving the way we expect them to move, but that means that we still are in a waiting position. So, So it looks like things are playing out exactly the way we thought they would. So wave 3, now wave 4. Wave 4 could theoretically be finished here, but I think this is, maybe A, B, C. So wave 4 could theoretically be finished here, in which case we would go further down. Minimum target would be 24.69 in that case, so a little bit further than what I expected originally. That's why I don't consider it, why I don't consider it unlikely that we get a little bit further up, or that we go a little bit further up first for A, B, C maybe, before we get the wave 5 push down, and then we get. That will then become our wave A, then we get our wave B, and then we get our wave C. So, but it's moving the way we want it, but we're looking at an 8-hour chart. So from one day to the other, we don't have that much change, especially while we are waiting for wave 4 to finish, and then wave 5 also shouldn't be too strong. Outside of that, Bitcoin is moving the way I thought it would. It's quite nice to watch, actually. We can see, so while I originally a couple days was wrong in the assumption that maybe we have A, B, and still wave C down, as I pointed out yesterday or the day before, I don't recall 100%. You can check out the previous episodes to figure out when exactly, that it's now more likely that we have 5 waves up here, making this the finished correction, wave 1, wave 2 retracing perfectly 61.8%, and we're now in the third wave. And within that third wave, we can also see that we have a wave 1, wave 2, and now a wave 3 that potentially bounced at 2618, followed by potentially wave 4 and then wave 5. And then we get wave 4 and wave 5, and then the next target area for the bigger 1, 2, 3 would be, as we see, between 111,000 and 113,000. I currently set a take profit order at 113,000, so based on this. However, we're looking at a 4-hour chart, so we would expect this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we get wave 4, A, B, C, and then we get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking at the end of December, roughly where we might expect this price level if I am right. I don't see, however, how I can be wrong here, because we still need more waves up for this to become a 5-wave move. Which means, as said, I'm going to keep my take profit order here for XYO. We should still be, looks like my call was correct. So yesterday I was worried that maybe we finished the correction here already. And on the 38.2 retracement. But I pointed out I will not again ignore Kennedy channeling technique, because that ignoring Kennedy channeling technique led me to sell my XYO holdings here-ish instead of writing another couple 100%. Like jump the gun on this one. And therefore, before we consider a re-entry, we are going to follow Kennedy channeling technique, which would require us to have a break to the bottom of this channel, which means it's still possible that this is the end of the correction, A, B, C. It's, however, also possible that this is somehow, 1, 2, 3, 4, and or 3, 4, and 5. Then we get A, B, C, and then we actually correct further till down here. And like I said, based on Kennedy channeling technique, we would need to or want to see a breakout to the bottom of this channel, which hasn't happened yet. If it doesn't happen and it turns out that this was the end of the correction, then so be it. Then we'll get another push up here. And after that, we finished 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we get another correction. So we get another potential better re-entry price. Either way, considering that we have a very, very solid pattern in Bitcoin right now, I rather hold the funds in there. We got in roughly here-ish in that area. So not too bad for basically waiting a day. What's that, like 10%? Not fully 10% increase in a day or so for us. So, or 2 days. I bought a little bit here and we bought a little bit here, yeah. But yeah, so definitely nothing to complain about here. And yeah, those are, I think, the two most important things, or 3 most important things. So GameStop's moving the way we thought it would, and we'll just have to wait it out. XYO not yet moving the way we think it has to move, so we'll have to wait a little bit to see if we will get that break to the bottom, and this will be ABC to give us an entry actually close to where we got out to earlier before we get the next wave 5 push. And Bitcoin following exactly what we talked about yesterday, that we have wave 1, A, B, C, and now we have the next 1, 2, and wave 3. Wave 3 likely finishing at the 2618, so we are currently retracing here, so could go down to 100,000 again. So as an A, B, C move, don't have to, but could do. It's also possible that wave 3 is not finished yet, and we'll push higher first. But right now it looks like wave 3 is done here, and we get an A, B, C move. And then we get another wave, and that will just finish basically 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That will only finish wave 3, 4, 5. And then yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it. So considering that our next target area would actually be up here for the bigger wave 3, I think that this third wave might not be finished yet, and that we indeed will not get the retracement now, but that we first will see a further push up. Otherwise, I have a hard time seeing how we can have wave 4 and then wave 5 taking us that far. Yeah, moving on, Barnes & Noble Education Inc. is still moving slightly upwards here and there. I mean, right now a little bit down, but overall upwards direction. Our pattern stays unchanged from what we covered the last couple of episodes, including yesterday's. Grab, retracing a little bit today. We're quite zoomed in here right now. But yeah, we keep holding our call. Immersion, yeah, we're still waiting for the break to the top here or the bottom here, but mostly the top here actually to have additional confirmation. We're not going to change our position right now. We just hold it. We see we have a small position, and we'll just see how it goes. But the pattern would suggest that we are about to get another push up and should be able to close this position at some point with a small $250 profit or so. And costs, yeah, still waiting for the break of this level or this level. Covered it more yesterday. NEO, we are assuming that we are done with the correction here and waiting for the break of this high here to have an additional confirmation. We just hold our 100 shares, and if we're right, we should go somewhere here to here. Novavax, yeah, endless story. We wait for the breakout of this channel. And even that might not salvage the $20 call options that we have that expire on January 17th. But if we have a 1, 2, and now wave 3, we should get strong enough movement that actually at least lets us close the options, not at a total loss, but either at ±0 or at a smaller loss. So I have to keep an eye on that. And the crypto stuff we already covered. So XYO asset, waiting for the potential break here. Doesn't have to come. It's possible, I said, that this is ABC, and here we're already looking at the next 1, 2, and now 3, which would mean a strong move. Yeah, but potentially it's still possible. Storage, we're still waiting to hit our target level at 80 cents or 8 cents, sorry, for the most pessimistic labeling. And just to get out of that position, free up the funds and use it in some other way. The storage token I'm holding, by the way, I earned them by running a node, so I did not invest any money into that project. So it's just about cashing out from that project for now and throwing it into other crypto that currently has clearer patterns. XRP bounced at the 361.8 retracement almost on the dot. So I believe that we have wave 1, 2, 3 and should now get wave 4. Again, we would expect the break of the bottom of this channel, which means I actually expect, I mean, right now we're looking at the weekly chart, but I actually would on the weekly chart now expect sideways and downwards movement down to 146 at least. Potentially we should touch the top of the base channel, which we very often but not always do in a fourth wave. So it could be possible that the upwards move in XRP is done for wave 3. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once we hit here, we start at wave 5 for another push upwards. Yeah, I sold the few. I didn't hold a lot of XRP, but I sold the few that we had for, I don't know, $300 or so today at around 250. So not at the top, but close enough. And again, if the pattern plays out like this, I might consider re-entering. Other than that, I will just focus on other cryptocurrencies. And the rest are not that relevant for us. Ethereum might be relevant, but there we have visually 1, 2. Currently wave 3. We'll have to wait and see if we bounce at the 261.8 extension or not. But the Ethereum I'm holding is usually just to cover transaction fees for everything that is on the Ethereum blockchain. Or forks of the Ethereum blockchain. So yeah, or for every transaction that requires Ethereum to pay for transaction fees. Just that with the increase, that's also summed up to a couple $100. So I might just use that to cap our holdings. But yeah, not sure yet. We keep an eye on it and decide then. Yeah. Moving on. Where do we move on? DJT moving upwards. So yeah. I mean, I've said it since here somewhere that we have a perfect correction. From here, we should go up. Our profit targets are much higher, somewhere in the 50, or not even visible here. So $68 would be the minimum target, still almost 100% upside. This would need to be in some form 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get wave 5. Then we'll get another correction. Then we get a strong wave 3, 4, 5, and so on. Yeah. We don't hold a horse in that race. We don't have free capital to jump into it. I consider the company hugely overvalued, but it's not trading based on fundamentals, but based on that the biggest shareholder is becoming the next US president. So yeah, make of that what you will. Nvidia moving not as expected. I thought we might get another corrective push. Have to adjust here, but we don't have a full labeling here. So I think I mentioned yesterday, no clear predictions at the moment because we don't have a full labeling. We just roughly estimated that this might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and therefore we would correct a little further. Yeah, eventually, not today, but eventually we'll get into labeling this fully again. RTX is still dropping. As I mentioned, the perfect entry point would, in my opinion, be 57.89. So as it marks, we are within both target areas for the downwards move, and it's the 78.6 retracement. Although we could, or not only could, but we should also briefly break that level, but the candle on the weekly chart should not close below it. So which means we already have first day, so maybe this week we stay above 57, and then maybe on Monday we have our breakdown, and then after that we start our recovery. It's not the best. It doesn't have the best risk-reward ratio, so it's just something we labeled, so not something necessarily to jump in. SMCI is still moving within the pattern, so there is a little bit more upside, but again, I expected that overall we will actually eventually go down to $5 per share. Might be proven wrong on this one, but that's what I see in the chart. And yeah, like everything else, I think we don't necessarily have to cover it. Yeah, CrowdStrike will be interesting because I believe we still have a 5-wave push downwards to come. And question is if it started with the earnings here, where I pointed out that it should go down, or if that was just an intermediate correction and we actually still get further highs, or if I'm proven completely wrong. Time will tell. But with the earnings, I was right, and people that watched my short on YouTube here and maybe followed the advice or agreed with my opinion, since it's not financial advice, but just my opinion, yeah, I want to be clear about that, could have cashed in nicely. Yeah, and with that, we made it through it. Things are unchanged. We keep an eye on GameStop to see how it behaves in the overall. So if it, as long as it follows our pattern, we anyway cannot do a lot with it or about it because that window is actually too big, because we have 6 covered calls written against our 600 shares. So I could only close them early, which means I would have to give back $2,000 of the $2,800 premium that we received right now. So I rather wait because the pattern suggests that we go further down. And once this upwards move, that might already be a set done here, but I think it will get another push for an ABC like this. Once that is done and we start the downward track, more time will have passed. So we benefit from theta decay, and it will be downwards movement, which reduces the costs or the price of those options as well, which makes it cheaper for us to buy them back. And then we can consider if we want to close them out before we get the next corrective move up, or if we hold it through that move as well and wait for the wave C that should take us further down. And yeah, that's it for today, I guess. So there are no questions in the chat and so on. I do hope that you were able to take something away from today's stream. For more details, especially on GameStop and Bitcoin, I recommend that you check out yesterday's episode where we predicted some of the movements already quite nicely. And outside of that, regular reminder, like, subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss out on future episodes. And with that, I'm going to wish you a pleasant rest of this first day and see you all then tomorrow again for another episode of Daily Market Mastery around 5 minutes before the Nasdaq opens. Thanks for watching. Till then, bye-bye.